Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous. And here's his story. Hi, Ollie. This story is about increasing clarity after going no contact. I've noticed that clarity can increase much faster if I keep regularly searching for new videos to listen to by searching through your channel playlist. Since you have over 2,000 videos, it isn't hard to find new ones to listen to. I've been listening mainly to videos from the no contact playlist on your channel. Now it's been over 3 years of no contact from family and origin siblings and lots of related enablers and flying monkeys. Your videos help gain clarity about what happened during the decades before no contact started. Over the past few days, I've listened a few times to the story sent to you by the 43-year-old woman named Daisy. The name of that video is No Contact, If Not For You, For Your Children. Oh man, if I had written to you when I was much younger and more clueless, I probably would have written the way she wrote. All of the stories you have read over the years, this one resonated most with me because of her emotional weakness and the way she kept thinking the narcs would change and the way she could easily get hoovered by the extremely abusive manipulators. To give an idea of how clarity is increasing, I can write a quote that you made at the end of your comments about one of my stories. The name of that video is The Narcissist Doesn't Even Have to Touch You. Right, I remember that one where you were a child. I think you were playing on your tricycle. And, your parents basically... See, you have this, I think, got marked with the same curse I did from my parents, is that mark of being humiliated by them, that public humiliation. And they don't got to hit you to publicly humiliate you. They can usually do far worse with their words or their comments or their sneers, their looks of disapproval or disgust towards you or at you or about you. Here is the exact quote of what you said. You have to accept that you come from a very, very damaged demonic people, period. During that video, you commented several times on the sexual undertones related to my parents' abuse. It has taken me about a year to mentally digest all this. At first, it seemed that you were overstating the situation or something like that. Now I know those extreme sounding comments were accurate. It's a tough pill to swallow. Okay? It really is, because a lot of us don't even realize that, they were sexually abused, because you don't necessarily have to even be touched to be sexually abused. You can do it by the overtones or the undertones or just the environment that the narcissist creates around you. Look, when my brother and I were going through therapy together to figure out a plan of how to deal with my parents, the therapist told us both straight to our faces, you were sexually abused whether you were touched or not. My brother he couldn't handle it. He couldn't even handle the thought of it. He still can't to this day. My mother's lording, my mother's touching, my mother's sexual overtones and undertones, and just her sexual ambient, whatever you want to call it, of what she put out, her sexual energy that never ever got shut off. Couple that with the pornography all over the house of my father. That's sexual abuse, whether you want to admit it or not. One minor detail that I did not mention in that story was that my dad gave my older sister the middle name of Lola. If that fact doesn't feed right into all of this, then I don't know what does. But if I wanted to contribute an hour-long story, I probably could think of 100 minor details like that to mention. By the way, she had her middle name legally removed when she became of legal age. Well, that would tell you she understands there's something wrong, doesn't it? Doesn't it? The emotional changes I've been going through over the past few months have been dramatic. I need to emphasize again that these changes in my emotional healing have been accelerated by doubling down on listening to no contact videos, mainly by you and also several by various other YouTubers. To be specific about what has happened emotionally as a result of more clarity, I can tell you that the first 2 years of no contact were very difficult. I would often wake up in the morning feeling sorrowful, nostalgic, sad, and especially guilty. I would think that this is wrong, this isn't natural, this doesn't happen in other families. It is just wrong, wrong, wrong. Yeah, man, because understand, we're fighting biology here, okay? It isn't natural. It isn't natural to have to go no contact from your family. It's not a normal thing. That's not a natural thing. That's not what's in our biology as humans. That's not what's in our DNA. We do what we do best in familial groups, as families, as family units. We are outliers. That's what makes this so hurtful and so difficult, is we are the outlier. Because what do you do when your family is completely toxic and detrimental to your well-being, your mental health, your physical health, your success, your future? What do? You have to fight biology. You have to go against nature. And nature is going to tell you, yes, this isn't natural. This is wrong. Because that's how we're programmed as human beings. But the reality is the toxicity is worse than the biology, overtakes the biology of it. Some animals in the animal kingdom, like I think every animal in the animal kingdom, has the ability to kill their young, to eat their young, for whatever reason they happen. You see all types of animals do it. Abandon their young, turn on their young, eat their young. Animals that would normally raise their young, their cubs, whatever they are. You will get animals in that same species that abandon their young, turn on their young, eat their young, kill their young. The only reason why our familial abusers haven't done it is because we're human beings and it's illegal. Because there's consequences to that. There's no consequences in the animal kingdom. It happens for whatever reason it happens. Same way it happens in human beings. So yeah, overcoming those biological feelings that are always going to be there. Because who wants to be alone? Who wants to isolate from their family? Who wants to have the stress every day of having to explain this shit to people of where your family is, why they aren't around, why it's more than just, oh, all families fight, all families have problems. No, this is different. This is so serious, I have to fight biology. I have to fight nature. It's a lonely feeling. It's a scary feeling. It's a feeling that makes you question every decision you make doing this. But as Anonymous said, coming to channels like mine, going through the 2,000 videos, and hearing the stories of other people that you can relate to, say, holy shit, I'm not some kind of freak. This is happening, and it's happening all around me. And I'm not alone. It's just wrong, wrong, wrong. But I would not know what to do about these feelings. But these feelings and the connected thoughts would gradually wear off as the day went on. Eventually I realized that I could get over these feelings faster if I would recall some of the abuse I went through as a family, as the family scapegoat for decades. Exactly. That's exactly what I tell people to do. That's the moment, knowing the moment you were broken. And in your case, I think the moment you were broken was that incident on the tricycle. And when you're having those feelings of nature telling you this isn't natural, this is wrong, you have the ability to stop and say, how did I get here? Why am I here? Oh yeah, this and this and this and this. And you walk it back to the moment you were broken and realize there's nothing else I could have done. And then you move on with your day. Now, you may have to repeat that process every day, several times a day for the rest of your life. I mean, that's just the cross we have to bear. I wish there was some magic pill of, oh, all these feelings, you're going to go back to, you're going to be normal, and it's all going to be okay. I don't know anybody who is. What I do know is always being able to mark your timeline back to the moment you were broken, to realize there's a reason why you have to go against nature and biology, because the toxicity is worse. Now, over the past few months, my thoughts and feelings have become much, much different. I make it a habit to listen to no contact videos before going to bed. Recently, all those sad and guilty emotions have gradually been replaced by this vaguely pleasant kind of smoldering rage as I clearly am remembering more and more of the abuse. Now I clearly see how I was being fooled, as my parents and siblings were very clearly enjoying having me as their very reliable scapegoat. Yep. And you got to be careful, okay? Because those fires of rage can cloud your judgment as well. Just like the fog of narcissism, okay? The fire of rage, okay? You don't want that to cloud your judgment either. The fire of rage will give you the energy to escape the fog of narcissism. And it's going to bring up some real emotions. What you have to make sure you do, and memories, is not to confront go back and think, no, now I remember this. Now I'm going to go, they can't deny this happening. They can't deny that. Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Don't allow the fires of your rage, your righteous rage, to allow you to make a dumb decision like breaking no contact. Because those fires, they'll make you remember some horrific shit. And when you first remember that horrific shit you have, things you haven't thought about in decades, years, decades, and like, oh my God, when you come to when you have an aha moment, a holy shit moment. And what do you think? There's no way they can deny this. How are they going to deny this? They're just like they deny everything else. Don't allow the fire of your rage to break no contact. I think the smoldering rage is vaguely pleasant, not because rage is present, because it's a relief compared to the sadness and guilt. It's It's better to be angry. It's better to be angry than to feel guilty. Why? Why in your case? Is it, now, anger is not a good characteristic to constantly carry around. It's not. Believe me, it can get out of control. It really can. It's why I need to take breaks from the channel. But your anger is righteous. And righteous anger trumps narcissistic guilt every time. It's a better feeling. Because your anger is about your abuse, about what happened to you, and you're taking care of yourself. Your guilt is you worrying about this narcissistic sociopath's feelings, unwarranted, undeservedly. It's kind of a happy rage because it's part of the clarity, which is bringing the relief. Lastly, if Daisy is listening, I hope she'll do an update. I hope she has moved with her husband and kids at least 1,000 miles away from that terrible mess she was in that was so dangerous to her and her children. Thanks, Ollie. Anonymous. And there is an addendum here that closed out like a dummy. Just give me 1 second. It's here somewhere. Oh, here we go. Okay. The story feels incomplete because there aren't a lot of examples of abuse that actually happen. It's just a story about increasing clarity. Why do you think... I don't know why you always worry about your stories, because your stories are always excellent. Okay? There is plenty of abuse that happen in your stories. Okay? It's it's psychological. It's emotional. And I've said this before. Here's the thing. I'm not saying one abuse is better. It's because one type of abuse is better than the other. Okay? But at least the one thing with physical abuse, at least it leaves marks. Emotional abuse, the marks are all inside. And the marks are can be labeled as you being crazy, or you being difficult, or you being obstinate. Okay? A black eye is a black eye. Emotional black eyes show in different ways. It's just a story about increasing clarity. As clarity and recall both increase at the same time, so does my astonishment at the amount of shit I took from my family of origin. I just keep coming back for more, even though I was trying to get away. Typical. But I was not clear enough about my scapegoat situation to get motivated enough to really get away. Anonymous. Well, you're away now. And that's what's important. Okay? But as these embers or smoldering fires of rage are bringing you clarity, don't allow that to let you think you have an argument to go and break no contact. Because you are going to remember things, and you're going to continue to remember things, these oh my God moments that happen. How did I forget this for decades? And there's no way they can deny any of this. There's no way they're going to be able to turn this around on me. There's no way they're going to be able to gaslight me over this. Want to bet? Of course they will. So, a lot of great examples of why no contact is the only way to deal with a narcissist, and that there is no going back. There is no breaking no contact. And the clarity that no contact brings you is also going to stoke those fires of rage that is going to bring up the incidents that you've forgotten in your past. But don't let those that righteous rage burn to the point where oh my God, I got to confront them with this, because that's going to get you nowhere. And I don't think you're going to do that anyway. So thank you again, Anonymous, I really hope this helps. Thank you again, Anonymous, for another story and contribution. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to have a private video made, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away. And I have been laying low to make sure that doesn't happen, because YouTube and Google would like to see that happen sooner than later. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. You can also follow me on the library app, which links are provided in the description box below. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.